Since we're live. So,
Debería poner esto acá.
yeah, hi everyone. Well, it's starting to call people. Yeah, I think that now we're live. Okay. I don't know, Barbara, you can already see it. Yes, you're there. Okay. So, I'm going to invite Barbara. Okay, and see. Okay. There you are.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Barbara. How are you?
Good, are you?
I'm good. I'm good. We were just talking on the other room. We are also recording on Zoom. So we were. I think that I can hear myself. You should turn off the volume in
Yeah.
your laptop now.
Now?
Now
Great.
it's perfect. Now it's perfect. I don't know if you guys can help us saying hi to everyone. Marianne, little little apple juice, our English teacher.
Armando.
Oh, is that a friend of yours? Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, Natalia. Well, I'm sure that you have many friends here. So, guys, we really want to have this as an open conversation, even though we are only Barbara and I here. But if you can just say where are you connecting from, so we get to know you a little bit more. If you are connecting from Buenos Aires, perhaps from Germany. I know that Barbara has a very international background, so she must have friends from all over. And do you hear me properly, right, Barbara?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Okay.
fine. Thank you.
Okay. No, yes, I'm just let's just give a few minutes or a minute so people gets to connect. No one is saying where you're from, guys. It will be lovely to know because people have
Oh,
so
Hasu.
weird names. Pergamino, okay. DC in the house, Brazil, lovely. Do you know everyone here? Italy?
N not everyone,
No?
but I saw a few
No.
friends, yeah. Andrea,
Okay.
Armando, Hasu, Carlos.
Okay, France. Okay, lovely. Spain? Okay, great. Yeah, I love it. I love the hearts. Colombia, Istanbul, Brazil. Lovely. Berlin. Whereabouts
Yeah,
in
that's a friend
Germany?
too.
Whereabouts in Germany do you live, Barbara?
Uh, I, I live 1 year in Dessau and 1 year in Berlin.
Oh, okay, okay. So you get to experience the country a little bit. And did you did
Yeah,
you did you get to learn the language? Because
not really. I don't really speak German.
you
Sorry
don't?
for that. No.
No? Okay. So, well, you have to tell us about your experience in the different countries because I think that that's one of the most interesting aspects of your background. So I think that we are quite a few people here now. So let me just introduce you properly. Hello everyone. Thanks for joining us on another interview series here with Architect US. I was just having a nice chat with Barbara in Spanish on the other room in Zoom before we connected, and yeah, I wanted to introduce her properly. She's been part of the Architect US J1 visa program for over a year. Actually, you just finished, right,
Yeah, a year
Barbara?
and a half.
Year and a half. Sorry, year and a half. And she contacted us, yeah, over a year and a half ago, willing to pursue her, I guess, dream. She told us that New York was always in your mind, right? So that's what brought you to the US. So what was exactly your main inspiration to move to the US?
Yeah, kind of. I met my boyfriend back in Germany when we were studying there
Ah,
together.
okay,
So he's American. Like, he's from Bolivia, but he lived in the US for like more than 20 years. So
okay.
he found a job in New York. And I think like New York is a super cool city where you can do whatever you want to do.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
And yeah, you helped me to find a job here, so I'm
So
doing
you just
great.
follow him. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your background. I mean, you study architecture in Buenos Aires, right?
Yeah, I studied in University of Buenos Aires, where I got my architecture degree for 6 years, and after that, I went to Germany for my master's. I did a Master of Arts in Architecture that was another two other more years, and yeah, so I studied a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's actually interesting. That's one of the questions that I try to always place to all the friends and colleagues that get to interview with us, because the architecture career is, I mean, yeah, it has some similarities and discrepancies depending on the country. And it's curious the length of the career, actually, how it varies from one to another. So in Buenos Aires, it's 6 years, right?
Yeah, in Buenos Aires is 6 years. I think it's the same as if you do like a bachelor's that is 4 years, and then you do a master's that is 2 years, you get to the 6 years. But there is only one career. You don't have like two different ones.
I see. And your title would be Bachelor's in Architecture, regardless, it's 6 years.
It's architect actually. It doesn't say
Architect.
bachelor's. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And then do you get license as soon as you finish the 6 years, or you
Yeah.
have to do?
Yeah, I have my license in Argentina, but now here in the US, I'm
Of course,
trying to
of course.
have it. It's not that easy. Yeah.
Oh, really? Are you planning to get your licensure in the US? That's great.
Yeah. I have like um I'm trying to have the NCAR hours. I already have most of them, and after that, I need to give 6 exams, I guess, or so.
Yes, there is. But just so you know, guys, well, some of you might know already if you are in the US, but in order to get licensed in the US, you need to first kind of get the equivalency of your studies abroad with the American system through NCARF, as Barbara was saying, and then you have to compile or accumulate hours of experience in different fields that a supervisor needs to approve, to validate basically. And then you have to also take these exams. That is a pain in the ass, to be honest. So best of luck with that. Have you already taken any exams, or are you just
No,
planning
yeah,
to do so?
I'm still waiting for my university in Buenos Aires to send some papers. So
Yeah, yeah, it's a
I'm
pretty
going through the
tedious.
paperwork.
Yeah, it's a pretty tedious process. But the funny part is that I did it myself. When I was working in New York as an architect, I started the process, and it was so weird that my university, the Polytechnic in Madrid, Spain, got they call it, what is it called? Substantial equivalency in terms of the system of the career of architecture here in Madrid, as opposed to the American system. But then I had some American colleagues that their university couldn't get that equivalency.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Right? How crazy is that? I mean, it was great that we could get it, but it was encouraging at the same time, because I don't know, you kind of understand that your system is good enough to to get to the bar that they set up. But there's no way around the hours of experience, and there's no way around the exam. But going back to the beginning, so you studied architecture in Buenos Aires. You did it in one go, or did you practice and gain some experience while you were studying?
No, I started working while I was studying. In Buenos Aires, it's pretty normal that you work and study at the same time. During my first years, I was like a freelancer. I used to work for an architect, but from home. Now that's normal, but before it wasn't that normal, I guess. Uh,
Yes,
so
exactly.
they pay you by the hour. So it's not that you're going to the office from 9 to 6, let's say. You just work whenever you have time or during the weekends.
So you were like a
Um,
freelancer, kind of, right? And
yeah,
then
while I
you
was
were
studying,
billing.
yes, because you
That's
spend a lot of time at school, so you don't have time to. It's so hard to work like a normal job while
I
you're
was gonna,
studying.
I was gonna say, I mean, it's difficult regardless the frame you're working at, regardless it's going into an office or working from home. But how many hours, just out of curiosity, how many hours did you actually expend doing this job? How many hours per
It,
week do
it
you have?
depends. We
Oh, it
were working
depends.
a lot of in residential, like several houses. So sometimes you have more work, sometimes you have less work. maybe there's a month that you don't work at all. It's like it varies during the time.
I see. I think that that's an interesting system because we always recommend to gain professional experience while you're studying, regardless it's a very tiny, project or the task is not super complex because it will give you muscle, I guess, and it will give you confidence and you will learn from the, professional atmosphere. But I think that kind of system is interesting too because I'm sure that it gave you the sense of responsibility, right? Because you had to kind of accommodate the hours. It was not like, okay, I have to go into the office for this amount of hours. It was
Yeah.
you deciding, right? If I
Yeah.
understood correctly.
Yeah, you need to manage your schedule and then like have a spreadsheet where you write the hours that you work and then like tell them, okay, I work like 10 hours and then you get paid for that. So it's kind of like you need to manage all the different aspects. So I think
Wow.
it's cool.
Yeah, and did you do that throughout the 6 years? Or it was at some
No,
point in your
I think I
career.
started doing that after the third or fourth year of my career. During the first 3 years, I didn't work at all.
Yeah, you are still trying to understand, what are you doing?
Yeah.
The world of first years in architecture is, yeah, is overwhelming. Um, Great. And do you think that that early experience actually help you, down the line, or it was just
Yeah,
something
sure.
else?
Yeah, I think so. I learned a lot there. It was my first job in architecture. Uh, that was Lola. I worked for her like for 5 or 6 years though. So
Wow. So
yeah,
it actually gave you more opportunities than what you expected, I guess, at the beginning, right? Like if you
yeah,
continue working for her.
and also while I was working in an architecture office, I was working for her like after I got home, like from 6 p.m. or so. So while I was in Germany, I worked for her a little bit too. So yeah, it
From
was nice.
Germany to, okay, so I
Yeah,
guess that the pandemic shift that all has put all of us into the remote work kind of scenario for you was already normal, right? I mean, you were used to doing that way.
yeah, sure. But I feel like being at the studio or at the office, like you learn a lot because you're with colleagues, like you learn from each other. So I think it's also nicer to be at the office. It's really nice to be at
Yeah,
the office.
this is the conversation that is out there everywhere, right? Where are the pros and where are the cons? I think that with COVID, we have evolved in so many ways. Like, we have developed new systems to work in network, and at some point we have reached some levels of efficiency as well because, you focus on what you have to do. But you're absolutely right. I think that architects, we really nurture from others. It's a very collaborative profession, and so, yeah, we're missing all that. But okay, so you finished your career in Buenos Aires and then you moved to Germany. How was that? I mean, it was something that you decided yourself. Do you have a mentor that kind of recommend you doing that? How that worked at the time?
It was kind of funny because while I was finishing my degree in Argentina, I was also making an enlargement on my neighbor's house, and she didn't have
Wow,
any money to pay me, so she gave me miles for a plane ticket. And
you're kidding me. I
no,
absolutely love it. That's
that
fantastic.
that's how
I
she
was gonna
paid me.
say, I was gonna say, did you work for free? Well, it was you
Yeah,
giving her
kind
that
of.
option, or she was.
No, I did it for free, but she was like, okay, I can give you this. That's what I can give you. So I took it. Uh,
Of
so I
course.
went to, I traveled to Spain and Morocco with some friends. And one of them, he was like really into, I don't know how we met a bunch of Germans and so on. They were like, you should come to Germany for your master's and so on. So my friend, I saw he was here, Gabi. He went to Frankfurt. He did some research and so on for the masters, and then he decided he was not going to go to Germany. But I was like, yeah, why not? I should go. So I applied
Uh-huh.
to a university there, and I got accepted. So I went. That's it.
That's awesome. What was it difficult to get into the to university in Germany from overseas? I'm not familiar with the system at all, just out of
There,
curiosity.
at that moment when I did it, I just sent everything by post, but I think now it's everything is online, so you need to upload your stuff into a website. Uh, but at that moment, it was just like you send your stuff through DHL.
On paper.
Yeah, on paper.
Oh wow, it sounds like I don't know. Yeah, if it was like 50 years ago, that right? Like
Yeah.
nothing is crazy how things have changed. So that's interesting. So you did your 2 years in masters, and were you working only with Lola? I think that you said in
No,
Argentina, or you work in Germany as well?
no, in Argentina, I work with Lola, but I also work in another office. And then I did some stuff like as a solo practitioner. And then
Uh-huh.
in Germany, during my first year, I didn't work. And after my second semester finished, I did an internship that was kind of rough because also they want to pay me like I work a lot of hours, so that wasn't really nice,
Yeah.
but it was
No.
experience. And then I started working at Topotech, which is an office in Berlin, and I worked there for a year before moving to
Awesome.
the US.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you said that you didn't speak a word of Germany, right? So
No.
that must be very challenging.
Yeah, yeah, it was. It's hard because if you wanna grow like professionally, you need to start speaking German. That's my
Yeah,
opinion. If not,
of
you kind
course.
of like talk with clients or
Yeah, yeah. So you were doing some work, but not like um you couldn't own responsibility and so on just because of the language. It was a real barrier, right?
yeah, but even though like in big international office in Germany, you work in English. Like everyone speaks English. There are like maybe 0.5% of the people is German and the other 50% is like from somewhere else. So everyone speaks English there
I
in
see.
Berlin.
I see. And so I guess that the most natural question now would be how would you say are the main, well, how would you say are, yeah, the main difference between experiencing architecture or practicing architecture in Argentina as opposed to Germany and in the US? Do you actually find, uh, you know, main hardships to kind of overcome, or it was just
Uh,
the language barrier the main issue?
uh, I think in Germany for me the most difficult part was the language. Uh,
Okay.
then it's like pretty straightforward, I guess. And
It
here
was
in the
similar
US, the most
to
difficult.
it was similar to Argentina then?
Yes and no. I think like in Germany, there is like much more money than in Argentina, and I was working like in huge projects, like a concert hall. So it's kind like in Argentina, I used to work a lot in residential, like houses and small things, and there I changed the scale. So a concert hall
I
like
see.
for 50, 100 people is like a huge building. So I was mostly working on that and international competitions and so it was
Yeah,
pretty
well,
different.
probably, yeah, it's difficult to compare if you were working for a small office or for I don't know how many people uh, this architect Lola had in Buenos Aires, but probably would have been always very different working for a corporate in Buenos Aires than working for Lola. So, but is there any specific kind of difference that you would kind of highlight in terms of design approach? Like, I don't know exactly how it worked in Argentina when you were working for this small studio, but how was the kind of brainstorming sessions in the office in Germany? Were you part of it, or because of being a
Yeah.
very junior, you were not?
No, no, I was part of it. The principal in the office where I worked the most, Topotec in Germany, he's Argentinian too. So he's like half Argentinian, half
Oh,
German. So we had like
okay,
some things in common. So I wasn't that
of
far
course.
away. But in Germany, it was mostly like school. Let's say like university where you brainstorm, you put stuff on the wall, you
You
discuss
pin up.
about it. The principal would say like, yes, no, yes, no. You need to make five options for this afternoon, and like everyone is shouting at you, and you run, and people are crazy.
Oh, wow.
So I think but that's kind of like every international office, like those huge. like star architects or whatever, they do that stuff, which is not
Yes.
the best practice for me, but
No.
it is what it
No,
is.
it's not. It's not.
Uh,
Yeah.
but it's an experience, right? I think like
Of
I went for
course.
it, and now I'm not there anymore. Happy not to be there anymore.
Yeah, I think that there are like three different experiences that every architect should have, if possible, before, establishing in a studio or deciding to open up their own office. One is working for a small studio, like you did, where most likely you're gonna have a lot of responsibility. They don't have the resources to have a big team with people. With different expertise in the team and so on. So you might have the chance to go over different phases and even going to the site and things like that. Then working for a star architect is actually pretty cool as well, I think, even though don't think that all star architects are like crazy and shouting and all that. But I mean, it's pretty stressful, right? I don't know if you agree with me, Barbara,
Yeah,
but
it's super stressful. You work long hours. Most of the time, you don't get paid very well. Uh, so it's good and
yeah.
it's bad at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely challenging, but you're gonna learn a lot because you're gonna see yourself in a very dynamic scenario where you push your limits or they push your limits. I don't know which way it goes, but definitely, yeah, a highly learning process, I guess. And then working in corporate, it can be also pretty interesting, because you might learn what you want to do as an architect and what you don't want to do as an architect. Because normally corporate are very business oriented, right? So the design is not that it's not important, but it has probably a second position, right? So tell us about your experience in the US. You landed in New York like a year and a half ago. How did you get your job? Because in this case, we didn't help Barbara. Barbara contacted us and already had the job opportunity. So that was awesome.
Yeah, I applied online. I found a
Really?
few offices that, yeah, I
And it
found a
was
few
that
offices.
easy? Wow.
Yeah, it just like I took a week off and like applied to different jobs, and then I took another week off for the interviews, and that week I got a few interviews, a few offers, and then I decided which one I would like to be part of. So it was like
Yeah.
really straightforward. Like everyone was like, "You're crazy. You're never going to find a job in New York. You're never going to get a visa. You're never, never, ever, blah blah." And in 2 weeks, I
You
got
didn't
everything
hear that.
done. And
That's good for you.
yeah, and you helped me a lot. I think it was like another month of paperwork or so, and then like
Yeah.
yeah, in like let's say 45 days, like let's say 50 days, I was in New York.
Yeah, no, definitely. The visa process is pretty fast, but obviously, what you accomplish yourself is very important. I mean, I really want you guys to take Barbara's case as an inspiring, story. But unfortunately, it's not always like that. We have many participants that come to us saying like, "Oh my God, I've been sending resumes and portfolios for a year and no one responds." So probably, Barbara is super strong. I have to say, I totally remember your portfolio, but I think it's always a matter of determination. You said that you took a week off. So first of all, see plan, right, and you really focus on making it possible. So how many companies did you apply for?
Um, like 50, I guess, like a huge number.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, 50 is not that. I mean, it's only New York, only in the city.
yeah, only New York City. Yeah,
Okay, and
nowhere
how
else.
many people, just to give like a sense of ratio, how many people actually got to respond? Uh,
I got a lot of emails back, but sometimes like you will tell them the money that you wanted on an email, they will say like, okay, no. And then I think I had like 10 interviews or so, and then like three job offers.
that's awesome. Seriously, Barbara, that's not common at all. That's amazing. Good for you. And
Thank
then
you.
So yeah, you were able to actually choose what you wanted to do and to, pick up the right opportunity. So how was the first day at your office in Superette in New York?
It was nice. They took me out for breakfast.
Yeah, really?
I
That's
remember
awesome.
that. Yeah. And yeah, like the first day they're trying to explain you everything. Like for me, the biggest change was I always been working with meters, millimeters, centimeters, and here they use inches and feet. That's was the most challenging thing for me because you need to weigh to change the way you think.
Totally.
And then here in the US they use Revit, and I hadn't used Revit before, so it was also challenging. Uh,
Yeah. So you didn't
but
have any training on that, on Imperial System and in Revit before.
no,
You just landed in the. Okay, okay. We guys don't recommend doing that. I mean, it can be the case, but if you're determined to pursue a career opportunity in the US, those are definitely a must, right? I mean, there are some studios that don't use Revit, but it's very weird, if they don't use Revit, probably they're small and they're still in CAD, or they use ArchiCAD. That's also pretty widespread, especially in the West Coast. But I mean, I think that Revit is almost like a
yeah,
must for everyone. But it's great that they gave you the opportunity that they train you. That is one of the. I don't know if you agree with me. Did you have the same experience in Germany? But I feel like in the US they are very mentor oriented, right? Like they really train you. They have even a system to train people they invest on you.
yeah. I think like I interviewed for a big company. I cannot remember the name, but they had
Uh-huh.
like a Revit school, so they will send you away for a month or so for teaching you Revit. And here, Eric, who's my boss,
Yes.
he's super patient. He was with me until I learned.
That's awesome. Again, seriously, you are like I have a friend that she moved to New York and her husband was studying at Columbia, so they ended up having a Columbia housing, apartment, and everything was so smooth. And I was like, okay, you're not experiencing the city as it really is. You know that, right? I mean, normally you really struggle to find an apartment. It's very painful. There's a lot of things happening and rip-offs and and I feel like you had such an amazing experience. I mean, like very smooth, having your boss, the principal, sitting next to you, and that's awesome. That speaks about how he is, as a professional.
Yeah, yeah. He's a really nice person. I'm super happy I'm here. I landed here somehow. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it
it
was
was a
meant to
great
be.
experience. Yeah, I think
It
so.
was meant to be. And so, what would you recommend from your personal experience to, the people that are watching us today, if they are thinking of moving to the US or to gain some experience, even though if it's only for a period of time?
What will I recommend? If you are an architect, just learn Revit in advance.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
uh, yeah, I think it's a nice move. It's like I don't know if you want to change. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. Um, it's a nice place. People are nice. I really like New York. For work, I've been traveling around, and maybe like other cities is not that easy because
Oh,
the nice part
really?
about New York is like people is from everywhere, so you don't feel like an outsider. Like almost everywhere is an outsider, so you feel like at home somehow.
That's very
Uh,
true.
so I think that's the best part of it. And then that you get to see, I don't know, new buildings the whole time. Like there are a bunch of offices, architecture office. You meet a bunch of friends. You can go to museums, walk the city, like ride a bike, whatever. It's like
You're
really cool.
making me you're making me so homesick of New York, nostalgic. I guess that you haven't been able to travel at all, right? During the pandemic, or you have,
Around the US, yes,
but not
because
outside.
we're working on a huge rollout that makes me travel a lot. So I got
Uh-huh.
a bunch of miles now.
Again?
Um, but then no, I couldn't go to Argentina. I was supposed to have an
Oh,
appointment at the embassy next month and it got canceled, so it should be on June. I hope I have it. So I'm still waiting for it. But yeah,
Oh, that's
just
true
looking
because of
forward
your
to go
O.
to Argentina.
Yeah, that is because of your O1 visa, right? The appointment at the
Yeah.
end. Okay, we will go into that because I'm sure that people watching will be very interested. But so I was gonna say, is there anything? I always ask this question because it's funny how each of us experience it in a different way. Is there anything that you would say, oh my gosh, I would have loved someone would have told me this before, that kind of thing. Even it doesn't need to be related to architecture. It can be about anything. I don't
Uh, I wish
know.
someone had told me that. Uh, I don't know.
You don't remember anymore. You're a New Yorker already. Okay, okay, that
At
happens.
something. Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, I don't know.
No?
Sorry for that.
Okay. No problem. I mean, maybe you didn't really experience any specific difficulties that,
Oh
put
no, yeah,
you,
I experience a lot, but I just think like things happen and you need to
and that's
make
it.
the best of them. Yeah, and if this
Okay.
happens, like you should move forward.
Yeah, of course, of course. No, I was just trying to think what was my feeling, because in my case, I don't know your age, but probably I was older than you for sure when I moved to New York. And I had already lived in London and in Paris. So, and I'm from Madrid, very metropolitan cities and large cities. And for me, moving around was super simple and easy, and I was used to do that. But for some reason, when I landed in New York, it took me a while to actually, it's true what you said that there's people from everywhere and you feel like at home fast. But for me, for instance, one of the main difficulties was personal relationships, not like boyfriends or girlfriends, but I mean like making friends in the way I understand. I understood friendship, like kind of Mediterranean style or whatever. Okay, no, I was getting
Oh
a
no,
message.
yeah, sure. That's super different. Like I'm from Argentina, and in Argentina, like I have a lot of friends. Some of them are here now, like very group of 20 friends. It's crazy. Like I used to play hockey, so I miss the club, and that's the thing I miss the most. Here, it's not like that at all. In Germany, it's not like that at all. It's a
Hmm. Hmm.
trade-off. Uh,
It is. It
yeah,
really
I think
is.
that's the hardest part. Yeah, for sure. Now I have like a nice group of friends. We're like
But it takes
10
some
people
time.
or so. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it takes time. And like
it
people
takes
just
time.
come and go. That
Oh
happens a
yeah,
lot in New York. So
yeah.
maybe you get close to someone and that person leaves because his visa's over, his job is over, whatever. And like COVID, like bunch of my friends left due to COVID. Some of them they didn't get their new visas or they had to leave. So yeah, it's hard, but
It's hard.
it is what it is. Like
It is what it is. No, no, of course. And there are pros and cons, right? As we were saying, because you decided at some point to actually stay, that you want to continue, right? So I remember that you contact us and told us like, what you could do next after your J1. And so tell us about your experience with the O1 because that's what we recommend you, right?
uh yeah, I I got a lawyer, Jack, who is like really nice guy too.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Uh
we put you in contact with Jack? I didn't know
yeah,
that. Okay, okay, that's
yeah.
awesome.
I work with him. He makes things like super clear and smooth, so that's very
Uh-huh.
nice. The process is long. Like my visa got approved like in 10 days. So once you get everything done, it's like super fast. But getting everything done, it gets time because you need to contact like everyone that you have
Yeah.
professionally have worked with before. And like my portfolio for that visa has like 600 pages. So it's crazy. Like it takes time to do it.
It really
But
takes, yeah, really tedious process, yes.
that's why you should do it like in advance. I started doing it like maybe 6 months before or so.
I think that that's how we have it established now. Like we normally reach out to participants and also host employers like 6 months before the J1 visa is going to expire of the participant, and we let them know, if they are planning to stay and if the company is happy with them, the options, to actually make it possible. Because years ago, the H1B was the most common avenue to follow, and this is still one of the options. But it's true that well, I don't know what's going to happen now that Trump is not in the administration anymore. But I mean, he definitely made it more difficult than it was already in the past. So in most of the cases, it's a matter of a lottery. And when we say lottery, it's literally a lottery. So, you file your petition, and I guess an algorithm decides whether you get the H-1B or not. And that is after you've been able to file your petition before the cap gets reached, right? Because there's only a matter of 65,000 visas. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's not that many. Many people apply to work in the U.S. So the O1 visa, that's one of the great things about being an architect, because we fall into the arts category, right? We are artists. So you can try the O1 visa, the artist visa, and that's what we recommend, Barbara. As she says, it's a pretty tedious process because you have to compile a lot. So tell us a little bit of the different items that you got to work on in order to get your application ready.
I think the most important one is your portfolio. So a piece of advice would be like save everything that you have done, because I didn't, and I had to try to find things like in random places. And then you need the recommendation letters. I think there are like 4 or 6 or something like that, like from previous
really?
employers, like from clients.
Only 6? On my time, I had like 10 different reference letters. It was
Or 8,
crazy.
maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it's like
Okay.
I had to talk with clients and then professors and previous employers and like almost to everyone. And then I got those letters. I think like the portfolio and the letters are the most difficult part.
Well, I will add that those reference letters, guys, don't think that it's just a generic reference letter. It has actually, it really needs to be very specific in terms of highlighting how good you are at architecture. I mean, it has to, prove that you are very outstanding, because the artist visa is given only to people with extraordinary abilities in their field. And don't read the actual criteria that is posted online, which is the criteria that they follow, just because you're gonna get probably discouraged. Because I remember doing that after I got the O1 visa, and they were saying, well, you're saying only portfolio and reference letters, but you didn't mention publications and awards. I think that's actually one of the most difficult parts.
But
to
that's something, if you don't have them, like you cannot get them.
Well, of course, that's a good point. Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna remove one of it. Yeah, because I'm losing my battery. That's true, but I mean, maybe this is an interesting topic for you guys. We will do another specific live on the O1 visa, because I don't specifically remember the criteria, but probably you do, Barbara. That there are like 8 criteria, and then you have to pick 6 out of the 8 or 5 out of the 8, something like that, right?
Yeah, I think you need to have 6 out of 8.
6 out of 8.
Yeah,
okay.
It's something like that.
Okay, but so sorry, I cut you off.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, that's it.
But I guess that it's not you deciding which ones you pick, right? Normally, the lawyer will guide you based on your background and your career path. Will recommend you. Okay, I think that the strengths are in this particular area, and this one in this one. So obviously, you don't have any publications or any awards, you won't be able to cover those topics. But the others are not easier, right? Because don't think every single item is pretty difficult to. It's not difficult. It's hard to to demonstrate your ability.
And the lawyer guides you, so he knows what you need to show, and he helps you to find a way to get the stuff. So
And how many years of experience do you have at the moment? Well, you have just filed the petition, right? A few months ago. So how is this because many people think that when they are very junior, they are not
Well,
at the
now
position.
yeah, uh, I'm turning 30 in May, so I think like
You're
probably
not
now I have like 6 years, or it
okay.
depends because I was working as freelance. I started working when I was like 23, 22, 23, but that's not like a lot of experience, I say. So
Yes.
let's say like 6, 7 years, six
Yeah.
years.
Let's put it that way, this way. So because it's a very tricky topic. Many participants of Architect US or community members come to us saying, "Would I be eligible?" And because they have very little experience, maybe they only have a year and a half experience that they've done with the program in the US, and we've got a few cases where they actually got it. So it's more about building the case. I always put it that way, to build a case, how you present your work and all this paperwork that they ask you to compile, than the actual years of experience that you have, right? Don't you agree with me?
Yeah, sure. Uh, yeah, it's how you build your story. I don't think it's actually your story. It's how you show it.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, it's not, don't take us wrong. We're not saying that you have to lie or anything like that. No. But I mean, it's really important how it's almost like the envelope of a present, right? You can put like a very nice
Yeah,
paper, or you can put just that crappy newspaper paper, right? And the present will be the same thing, but it's a matter
yeah.
how you
It's
wrap it
just
up.
I just feel it's like a lot of paperwork, and it's just like taking the time to do it. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like everyone can
Yeah.
do it. I don't think it's that difficult to do it. It's just like you need to do
Well,
it.
I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, we know many people that don't get it because of, I don't know. But I mean, it's definitely a matter of time and dedication and put
Yeah,
together with some care,
but maybe if
your work.
you want it, and you say like, oh, I don't have like any award. Okay, just work towards an award, and then you can apply to a visa like in two
Exactly.
years or so. So sometimes it needs time. That's what
That's
I'm
to,
saying.
that's totally true. That's totally true. And even I don't know if I share this experience that I had before, but just very briefly, I remember that when they asked me, okay, publications, awards, and things like that, the first thing I did, it was to Google my name.
Oh yeah,
And
they tell
see,
you to do that.
right, did he tell you to do that as well? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, because sometimes you are not even aware of things that maybe you did at school, or I don't know, that client that you work for maybe has published something and they have credit your part of work or things like that, right? So that's one of the easiest things to do. Just Google yourself. And secondly is, again, as I said, how you build the case, how you present your work. So I remember that in terms of awards, I had won a few competitions and and a scholarship to do a year of architecture in Paris. And so I thought, okay, that might mean something, right? I mean, I really need to use this towards my application. So the way I presented was, okay, so I have the goal is to prove that I'm a genius, almost like the next Zaha Hadid or something like that, like a very 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 strong architect. So I was thinking, how can I put this in the way that it shows that, right? So I realized that the scholarship to study in Paris, it was given only to two people, and the
nice.
Polytechnique, yeah, the Polytechnique University in Madrid is pretty large. So a year, maybe we are 400 or 450 people. So the way I presented it was, we did like a letter saying that this scholarship, blah, 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 is given in a ratio of 2 to 450 people. That is immediately putting you, right, in a very top level because, you know, two out of 450 people, it means that you should be good, right? So that is the
Yeah.
kind of concept that you should apply to everything. But great. So you got it, and now what are your plans? I mean, now you're eligible to stay in the US for another 3 years, right?
Yeah, my plans are first trying to go to Argentina for holidays.
Okay, good for you. Yeah, I
And
bet that you
that's
deserve
my
it.
next goal. Um, but it doesn't really depend on me, so I'm just like think about it. And then, yeah, I'm part of StudioSuperette. We are growing a lot. We already grew a lot last year. Um, Before we were only like 3 people, now we're like 8. So that's super cool. We have a lot of work. We can have more work too.
That's
Someone needs an
awesome.
architect.
That's awesome. And
Yeah,
what
so
are your duties? How is your normally day? Because you now are leading some projects at the office, right?
yeah, we work a lot of on retail. So
Okay.
now at the moment I have like a lot of projects because retail is like fast and short and like crazy. So yeah, we're doing this huge rollout around the US. Then we have like a huge flagship here in New York that is going to open in May. We have few residential things that we're also working on.
That's cool.
So yeah, there are like a lot of stuff going on
So you're not
right now.
working only in the retail project around the US. You're working on different ones.
Yeah, it's mostly retail. Like say like 80% of my time is on retail.
And
But
what is your main duty? I mean, are you kind of managing? Are you part of the design process, or you are in the construction phase?
um, well, it's a small company, so you're kind of in everything. So I think that's the nicest part that you get to do everything. You're in the
Yeah,
design part, you're in the construction part, you do construction administration. You talk with the GC, you talk with the engineers, you talk with the client. Yeah, we talk within each other. So it's nice because you get to see like the whole process of building something in a short
yeah,
period of time.
that's amazing. And you when you travel, you actually go in the site, or is to
Yeah.
meet with the client?
Well, with the client, we only met like a few times during COVID because COVID.
Okay, I see.
Um, but yeah, we traveled to the West Coast for the client meetings. Then for building sites, like we have building sites all around the US. Now we have like 30 projects at the time, I guess.
Okay.
So yeah, we've been like Texas, Florida, Vegas, Portland,
Oh
yeah, everywhere,
wow,
I
look at
guess.
that. Lucky you. I mean, you don't really need to spend your miles for, tourism. You're doing it while you're working. That's awesome. And and
Yeah.
and is it only you, or you actually travel with team members? How does that work in terms of
When I travel for
operations?
my when I travel for my projects, I just travel by myself. Maybe I meet with the engineers on site or someone from the client's side. And then
I
for the
see.
client meetings, we travel as a team, like 3 or 4 of us.
Okay. That's interesting. I don't know if you guys have any questions for Barbara while we have her here. Because I talk a lot and I don't want to take the opportunity for people to ask. I know that some people ask questions at the beginning. Oh my God, too many people put things here. Let me just see if I can see some of the people questions before. Oh my gosh, there are too many comments. Just give me one second. I know that someone asked something about. Can we use our experiences from our home country to get the license? Oh, okay, Natalia, that probably was when we were talking about the IREs. Well, did you use your international experience
No.
towards IREs? Not at all?
For the exams, well, I haven't done any of the exams. So yeah, for the exams, yes,
No, 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 not for the
I
exams. You
guess
know
I
that you
have.
have to. No, no.
For
I
the
think that she's
hours,
referring. Yeah, for the hours exactly.
no,
You haven't used it. Okay,
no,
but
I
with
haven't.
the hours, that you have accumulated in the US, you don't have enough, right? You still have to put some hours.
Now I'm only missing like 200 hours or so,
Oh,
like in a year
really?
and a half. Yeah.
Okay, well, again, if this is something that interests you guys, we might be able to do an ARES, get together in a presentation because it has changed since I was doing the AREs, and I know that the hours now are considerably less. So at my
Yeah, I
time,
think
just so
it's
you know,
easier.
yeah, it's way easier. But just so you know, at my time, and I'm sure that that remains the same, but maybe the number of hours is what it has changed. You could use a percentage of your hours overseas towards your AREs. It's not everything, and maybe it was like a 10% or 20%, but still, it can help. But definitely, if you want to get licensed in the US, that's actually one of the reasons why many internationals choose Architect US, because it gives you the opportunity to, accumulate a year and a half of experience, of real work experience in the US, and before you start with your ARE. So that could be an option for you guys. And then there was somebody else saying that is a 29 years old Joaquin. If it's too late, it's never late. It's never too late. You can always marry someone, right? that's, that's an option too. No, I'm
Sure.
kidding. I'm kidding. Don't do that. But I mean, no, it's not too late. If I'm not wrong, I'm not working anymore with the specifics of the J1 regulations, but if I'm not wrong, 35 is the cap. And we have got people even over that age, but it gets more difficult because the J1 visa is meant to be a training visa. It's supposedly you need some kind of training in order, in a specific field. That's why we have to fill out the training placement plan. And so if you're 40, you're supposed to be already trained and experienced. So that's the reason why. But with 29, for sure, you are more than eligible. There's another person asking, I'm pursuing Bachelor's of Architecture in India. The scheme of bachelor's is 5 years. After completing my bachelor's, I'm planning to do my master's in the US. What are the things should I want to do? I don't understand the question. If you're planning to study in the US, that's completely different thing that what we help with. But I mean, I'm sure that you just need to, follow the instructions that the university you want to apply to has, and fill the application. And Natalia, the same girl that was asking before about the experience in the US, hours of experience for the ARES and licensure, is asking, master's degree is a must? No. Well, you have your master's degree in Germany, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not a must whatsoever. I mean, no,
No,
you
I don't
can.
think so.
No, it's not. You can just come with your bachelor's in architecture, and then, if you're interested in doing a master's, you can do it afterwards in the US or back home. It's not, and it's not necessary. I don't know if you're asking this in regards to the AREs or just in regards to work in the US in general, but in both cases, it's not a must. Oh my God, I can see many familiar faces here too. And I think that you have a lot of friends here too. Many were
Yeah, thank
saying, "Go
you.
Barbie."
I miss them all, if I can say.
Someone, of course, someone is saying that you have to tell us about other plus. What is that?
That
Tell us.
no, that's funny because I work like that's one of my closest friends, and
Oh,
he
okay.
has a he has a factory back in Argentina, so I didn't have a job, so I was his secretary for like 3 months. So
Oh, it was a
he's the best
factory.
CEO in Argentina. Let's say that.
Oh, okay, okay, that's
It's
awesome.
like a
Okay.
plastic factory. It has nothing to do with architecture.
Okay, but I'm sure that you learn things from that, right?
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
sure. Like a lot of accounting. I'm a serial in accounting, and at the moment I learn a little bit.
okay. Well, knowing about accounting is always useful, even for your personal finances, right?
Yeah, sure.
So it's always good. And
So thank you, Adeplast.
yeah, someone here, Little Apple Juice, was asking, how do you search for the jobs and what was your strategy? I mean, you already mentioned applying online, but we had another interview with a really great family member a couple of weeks ago, and he was telling us about the strategy that he followed to actually land a job in LA. Daniele Lopresti, if you guys are interested in this particular topic, he shared his personal experience and it was great interview. So you can just look at it in our IGTV. But tell us do you have any specific strategy at all, or it was just a matter of applying online?
Uh, yeah, I think I was just like looking for job openings, and then I went into a website and I saw the company's website and I checked if I like it or not, and then I applied. Yeah, I think
Okay.
that the most important thing is that your portfolio is not like full of things. It's just like super specific, like you show what you done, like an image and maybe a small title, and that's it. No, like diagrams and like things. No, no
Yeah.
one wants to see that. And
No.
like they
Yeah.
just check your portfolio like in 30 seconds. So,
That's absolutely right. We have this portfolio plan service, or yeah, mentorship, and that was that is the main point to highlight always. Like we get these portfolios made out of 50 pages, 100 pages, with a lot of covers and separated pages. It's like no one really cares about the contents page. No one really cares about, your high school work, or you have to be very, very, very precise to show who you are as an architect, right? And you don't have many chances to do that. So you better pick the best out of your work and just put it in the most easy and comprehensive way, right? And and and
yeah.
and, and go for that. So, but I mean, I remember that Daniele was saying that he had this kind of a spreadsheet where he was, making sure to note the names of the companies, the position itself, just because sometimes you have to tailor your presentation, well, your cover letter, right? Or
Oh,
were you
yeah,
just
yeah.
sending it to everyone the same?
No,
No,
that's super
right?
important. If you're sending a cover letter, it needs to be like personalized. Like you shouldn't be sending like the same stuff to everyone. Because when you get a job application that you see, that's like a standard one, or like they really look at your website and yeah.
Yeah,
Like at the
yeah.
office when we have, yeah,
Sorry,
we look
I
at
forget.
that. No, like here at Super, we look at that. Like if we get like a random cover letter, we'll say like, no, this person
It's
doesn't
immediately
care.
discarded. Yeah,
It's immediately out. Even
yeah.
though their portfolio is nice, like we don't care.
Yeah, you have to show that you actually care about the company that you are willing to be part of, right? I mean, that's common sense. You cannot just send the same introduction email to everyone. You have to somehow say why you are going to be contributing to the company, what you think you can, add to the table, and why you like the work.
Hmm.
And so, did you actually mention when you were applying? This was a question from Shunsin. Well, I cannot pronounce her name. Sorry. Well, yeah, this girl was asking you if while you were applying to the companies, did you mention your visa status at all?
Yeah, sure. You should. I mentioned that at the very beginning.
And where you were saying that you didn't have any visa status, or
No,
you
I
were
was saying,
following our recommendation?
yeah, I was going to have a J1 visa.
Yeah, yeah. We always actually recommend that you should mention that if you are part of Architect US community, you could always say in a very brief sentence. Don't really get into much detail because probably you're gonna get in trouble. You mentioned something that sounds very tedious or complicated, right? So you only have to say. We always say that you could actually mention that you are a J1 visa holder as part of the Architect US career training program, even though it's a white lie because you don't have it yet.
Yeah,
But
I just remember. So the
sure,
first email that I sent, I didn't say anything about the visa, but if they got back to me, I would explain them about the J1 visa. And for example, like Eric was my principal at StudioSuperette. I think he called you. He asked me for your
yes.
contact number, and I sent him your contact number, and like everything is fine.
Yeah, yeah, we always obviously intermediate, with the companies. As soon as you tell us that there's someone who might have some interest in you, we immediately get in contact with them just to make sure that they understand that even though you're not in the US yet, you will be part of our program and the sponsorship gets completely covered, that they don't have to worry about anything related to immigration, and that you actually cover with the cost of the J1 visa. And so normally, if the company is really interested in you guys, they will extend the offer. I mean, we have been super successful with that way of operating. So uh, go for that. Um, and then I think that was it. I don't know if you guys have any other questions. How many? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Um, persevering and passionate about what she does.
Oh, that's my mom.
Okay. Oh, oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. Well, she's absolutely right. She's absolutely. I think that yeah, it couldn't have been said in a better way. You have to be very perseverant and passionate, and I think that that's kind of common, almost common feature, in architecture. But how many pages does your portfolio have? Do you know?
Like 20, I guess, or
But
something like
again,
that.
it's not a matter of pages, if you agree with me, right? It's a matter of the
No.
quality of where you're showing. Maybe with 5 pages, you are already like killing
Yeah,
it, you know?
I think like 10 is the best for me. I would say 10.
Yeah,
But
because people get tired, and
yeah.
bored easily. So you don't want to really risk it. You just want to show the best out of the best. We tend to put together everything just the same way we were doing our boards at school, full of little diagrams and tiny text and all these drawings in the same sheet, but that's not how it works in the professional world. Is there any specific that you would recommend in terms of the portfolio? And we wrap up with this because I'm sure that you gotta go.
Yeah, just one image per page. That would be my
Boom.
must. Yeah, and that's it. Like one image per page, so like pretty straightforward. Like
I,
people like really don't have time here, so they just
yeah.
like
I mean, I would say that maybe
skim through it.
an image or the best element that you have, or the best element that explains your project. It can be an
Yeah, yeah, sure.
axonometric, or it can be a
Oh
detail.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean like one thing per page, whatever
Yeah,
that thing is.
whatever it is. Yeah, don't
Yeah,
over saturate your pages,
yeah.
and yeah, that's absolutely right. Well, Barbara, I could be here for another hour, chatting with you. I think it's been
Me too,
really
but I
great.
need to go to work.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't want to be the reason why you get in trouble. So, thank you so much for your time. I hope that people enjoy your conversation. I did.
Great.
And yeah, and I'm super happy to see that, you're growing, and what it started as just a year and a half now, we have to see where it goes. And you will stay for another 3 years, so it's amazing. Good for
Okay, thank
you.
you. Thanks for everything. It was really nice meeting you.
Yeah, lovely meeting you, and please stay in touch if you need anything. We will follow your steps to see where you go next.
Okay, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you,
nice seeing you.
everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye bye. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.